You've spent countless hours in the garage with your dad. Now investing in that old car and working on it with your son reminds you of him. And his legacy lives on. Fund your passion with a low-interest home equity line of credit from Bank of Blue Valley.
Oh, man, what a beautiful voice for that Bank of Blue Valley Burns and Mac intro. How are you doing, Will?
Scott, doing great. How are you doing?
Doing good. I feel like there's been more added to your office. Like, what is that right here? Is that an award that you won?
That's I think it's just my University of Kansas degree. No awards, man. I don't have as many awards as you do. I got to catch up.
I got a speaker or vase, and then I got a speaker right there.
Nice.
So it's pretty exciting. But one thing we got in trouble for the last time we hosted, which is why we are lost without Aaron Folk, is we need everyone to tell us who they are and where they are calling from or listening from.
Yep.
So this goes out to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn is obviously our big audience. So it's like Anchorman. If you put something up there, there's a good chance that Will is going to read it.
But you got to put it up there. You got to put it up there, though.
Now, Will, we're going to alternate with questions with our guest. But one thing we always want to talk about is Burns and Mac and Bank of Blue Valley. Obviously, Burns and Mac, we tell everyone, and some people may think about, may get in the banking talk here with is there a recession? Is there not a recession? Well, Burns McDonnell is hiring thousands of people. So please just go to their website. And Bank of Blue Valley is growing right now. But what are some interesting things that the audience may not know about?
I think on the Bank of Blue Valley side, the interest, I don't know what the interesting side is, but we're growing in all areas of the bank. So retail, private banking, commercial banking, you can name it. We've got positions open and would hope that people would want to inquire and learn more. So very excited about the growth of Bank of Blue Valley. We're still that community bank. We're founded on the dream or kind of the ambitions of Bob Rainier, who's tremendous mentor and just a great Kansas Citian. And we're just trying to continue his story and keep moving the bank into the future based on the ideals that Bob kind of established it on. So we're having a lot of fun. This is going to be my 1-year anniversary with the bank and joining the commercial banking team. It's been a great first year and excited for what the future holds.
Well, we'll see if we can do a good imitation and hold up to Erin's standards by her pulling up a comment and having you read it before we introduce the guest, because someone is paying attention about checking in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So he's ahead of the game. Chris is already jumping in. Matt being such a great leader, great and humble leader. Look, we just had a conversation with him right before this and getting to know him a little bit. And I think Chris is onto something there.
Well, I hope Chris and you are joining us on August 12th to be at this guest golf tournament that we're going to talk more about. It's a hole. It's actually going to be, I'm not going to do it. But what I can do is Erin is going to cue the music, and then I'm going to introduce the guests because I can't say their name yet. I think it's great music. So this gentleman is a hometown boy, third-generation business owner. Can't wait to hear about all those lines and things he's doing in the community. Without any further ado, Matt Ambrose.
There he is.
Hey, fellas. Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Yeah, I was about to give away the golf tournament, but I was going to say the name of it. But I want Will and Chris to be there. And they asked me for what I wanted the hole to be, and it's the Matt Ambrose Fan Club. So that is the title of the hole. So there are no businesses. It's going to be guys like Will and Chris, and we're going to be having a good time. But Matt, I'm going to ask a question. Chris is going to ask a question. We won't ask about the Montana jersey or the KU stuff. But who are you? What do you do? And how'd you get to Kansas City?
All right. So, Matt Ambrose. I am the owner and CEO of Ambrose Companies. It's actually a conglomerate of three businesses. In a nutshell, what we do is we've got a metals division that provides extruded aluminum for various types of manufacturing, including electrical, um, outdoor and indoor signage. So we provide the framework for those metal signs. And then we've got an industrial automation and material handling business that provides everything from robotics and end of line packaging equipment to your basic level stretch film and tape. So we're nationwide and down into parts of the Caribbean now. So third generation. So how I was born and raised in Kansas City. Grew up in Olathe, went to KU, hence the this side, hence the basketball behind me there. And came back to Olathe. Did not actually come back to work for the family business when I got out of school. Did a short stint working in law enforcement, and then bounced around to a couple other industries before coming to work at Ambrose for my dad. He was still alive. So I've been here for, probably about 11 or 12 years now. And that's pretty much the short of it. Feel free to ask me any questions if you want to get greater detail there.
No, I think it's interesting. And, one, just always say thank you. I'm part of the one of the members on the board of the Kansas City Metropolitan Crime Commission, and get a chance to meet with a lot of police chiefs around town and hear the different stories and really the challenges that go along with being an officer, and appreciate anyone that does that level of service for our community. So thank you for spending some of your years doing that for us.
Absolutely.
One thing that I was curious, not to get too much on business side of things, but you mentioned going nationally, and then also having, these three different segments that you're operating. Mm-hmm. Who would you say is a great customer for Ambrose Packaging and Ambrose Companies when you're talking about that?
Yeah. So
softball.
I try.
Yeah. We've got a lot of phenomenal clients. We've got what's kind of a fun fact for Ambrose is we still have our first client today. So when my grandpa founded the business in 1977, he started with one client, and they're still a client of ours today. And so that's been a 45-year relationship that we've been able to nurture and carry on through not only generations of our company, but generations of their company as well. So, we have tons of fantastic clients, not only here in the metro in Kansas City, but across the country. And that's what's really cool about the different industries and the different types of business that we have, is that our clients are so diverse. I mean, we work with clients that, build signs for worldwide brands, and we've got packaging clients that provide, common household items. And in some cases, given the recent environment over the last couple of years, clients that were, kind of leading the fight against COVID and all of that. And so, our clients are phenomenal. And, we're really blessed to have the number of clients that we do and the relationship that we do with them today.
I got to ask Chris, I want to follow up on what Will said. I knew Will would love this conversation, but maybe not an exact client, but you talked about the three different business verticals. Mm-hmm. What would one look like? Not like a name of a company, but what does one look like for each vertical? Because I'm just curious in general.
Yeah. So, in the metals part of our business, key clients there are going to be customers that are doing some form of electrical manufacturing. So they might be building panels, electrical boxes for the side of your home or RV parks, or the new electrical vehicle charging stations, that type of manufacturing client. The packaging side of our business, those clients range from meat packing to pharmaceutical to agriculture. I mean, our diversity within the packaging industry and what we do is very diverse. Clients that span mom and pop startups to Fortune 50 type companies. And then on the sign side of our business, most of our clients are, ones that you probably never heard of. They're companies that are manufacturing signs. So they're doing the work for, people like SoFi Stadium or Valero or Quick Trip or, Price Chopper. Their clients are the ones that you would read about and see or visit their facilities on a regular basis.
Yep, sounds like interesting work. So wanted to tee up a couple of things because I've in doing some research, to have a conversation with you today, and we already knew that Scott was the founding member of the Matt Ambrose fan club. So we were starting a bar high, but I suspect that with some of the growth you're going through there, your hiring is front of mind, and you're looking at bringing on talent whenever you can. As people that are out looking in the community and hear more and more about Ambrose, what should they know about your family-owned business and some of the things that you think are important for people to consider if they're joining a firm?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think one of the biggest things and one that I'm confident saying is that, we really do focus on our employees and we do foster a family environment. Our team right now is only a little over 40 people. We have 42 employees right now. And, I'm not necessarily looking to grow this thing to 2,400 employees or anything like that. Yep. We have a great group of people, and we try and make them the focus of everything we do. So, little things like we provide lunch for our employees every single day. We do regular cookouts and other company events and team building activities. And we try and incorporate that into, a weekly and monthly ongoing initiative. So, it's really culture driven and family driven. A lot of, our people here were either friends before coming to work at Ambrose or have become friends after, being employed here. Vacation personally with a lot of, our employees, they're friends at this point. So, if I had to, just kind of say, kind of one thing, it'd be the family culture that we foster here at Ambrose.
Matt, I hope your marketing team's watching, and the audience obviously chime in if you have a question for Matt. But that right there, I think it really exemplifies the same thing that you've been saying for the 6+ years that we've known each other and seeing that. So I'll ask you a softball question and then a fun question, but so I'm going to do two. But if you had to think about the number of employees of those 42 that have been with your company more than 5 years, how many would you say?
Scott, off the top of my head, 35, I bet. Somewhere probably in that 30 to 35, I bet. Been here longer than 5 years.
That is just an amazing stat that I think everyone should aspire to have with our organization. Yeah. I think you aspire 99% chance you're not going to get to Ambrose level, but something to inspire to. And I know that you really do treat all your associates like family. You mentioned you don't want to grow so much on the employee count, but what is the most exciting part of your business that you feel has the potential to grow and be really wonderful for the organization?
Honestly, I think it's our employee development. The new technologies that we're embracing and, what our clients are pushing us to do, so across all of our businesses right now, automation is a hot topic, right? And, it could be integrating, our extrusion into the manufacturing process to, increase throughput or reduce labor on, that end, or it could be the robotics, integration that we do that is, upskilling the workforce for our clients. And, everyone you drive by has a hiring sign. The number one question we get from clients and prospects is, how can we put robots or new equipment in that's going to, allow us to fill these open employee roles, essentially, and so, our clients are really driving us to, grow our expertise and our knowledge base and our capabilities and pushing us to new heights. So, if I was really to step back and look at, I would say it's our employee development here, and everything that I would say that we're challenging them with, it's really what our clients are challenging and tasking them with doing. We try and provide our employees with a lot of freedom to be able to go and explore those new types of technologies and then bring those back to our clients and say, hey, how can we integrate something like this into your business? And so I think that would be probably my number one answer for that question.
Yeah, I got to imagine that's a lot of fun for everyone. And take a second just to remind everyone. So we want to get everyone's questions in watching. So please let us know where you're watching from and what questions you want us to tee up for Matt. But you mentioned automation, and Scott usually ask something about what's going on in the markets or what we're seeing in the economy. But for the last 15 years of my career, and it really predates that even, but becoming more efficient is on front of everyone's mind, right? It's the number one topic usually when we're talking to companies and CFOs. And it sounds to me like you have you're kind of a thought leader where people are coming to you for some suggestions, and you're going to your team to develop some ideas, which has got to be a lot of fun. Am I understanding that right, or is that the consultative nature that you're bringing to your customer base?
Yeah, absolutely. Every client we visit is, having a hard time, getting more employees in to perform some sort of function in manufacturing, and so. It could be putting a new piece of equipment in. It could be re-engineering their line to make it more efficient. It could be a number of different things that allow them to help, automate their facility. But ultimately, it's demand is still there, or in a lot of cases, continuing to increase. But as we all know, the labor shortage in today's world is really handicapping our manufacturers from meeting production rates and everything. Yeah. So, and we're facing the same thing. We've got manufacturers who had a lead time of 4 to 6 weeks that are now 40 to 50 week lead times. So, we have to get creative as the integrator and, the design and engineering firm. How are we going to combat, everything that's happening in the marketplace right now? And so, it's really exciting to see our team face some of these challenges and the solutions that they're coming up with, to tackle these problems.
Not very cool.
You just totally distracted me, but I was going to make a joke of I know a really good sponsor that can finance these robotics with Bank of Blue Valley. Yeah. But where I was going was really on, I felt like 2 months ago, we saw a little bit of a slowdown in the economy, but you're talking about the unemployment rate and the lead time. So I don't really see it growing, even though the Fed is trying to decrease interest rates. So for you, are you looking at acquisitions? Are you looking at efficiencies? What is the path to grow to increase your output? Or is it more, you're kind of beholden to the whole system? I mean, it seems like you have so many things touching your business. How do you focus on growth with so many things affecting it?
That's a $1 million question there, Scott. We've our leadership team has been actively involved in those conversations over the last year and a half. We've looked at several acquisitions. Various parts of the country, some local, some not local, and various types of industries. It could be custom manufacturers, it could be other engineering firms. We've really looked across the whole realm of industry that we serve, and really kind of what we decided is we're just going to try and grow this thing organically, and with that comes a very I should say much more strategic conversations, right? It's different conversations Whereas before it was more, how do we integrate a new company's culture into our culture and our culture into their culture? And so that was kind of, we were going out looking for potential companies to acquire. Culture was always the number one thing we were talking about. And, that's no different than when we bring on a new employee at Ambrose, is we're making sure, that they're going to be a good culture fit, a mutually good culture fit. We're a good fit for them. They're a good fit for us. And so, in today's world, it's hard. We've had to turn down some very, very good people because we didn't ultimately believe that it was going to be a mutually long-term beneficial fit for both of us. And so, so what we're looking at now is, really trying to narrow our focus on what we're going to provide our clients. And I think that's going to be our niche to growth, is, really drilling down instead of trying to be everything to everybody, is really narrowing down what our focus is, getting really good at that, and serving our clients in that capacity.
Yeah, we'll ask one more question and we'll get to some fun stuff, but it's almost like the last 6 to 12 months, you've had to become an economist yourself. But in doing so, it's allowed you, to Will's previous question, of really narrow down your vision as the CEO and the leader to say, hey, let's triple down on our clients and how do we help them even more? But going through that exercise, it has to be overwhelming because you never thought in a million years you'd have to be an expert in all your supply chain businesses to perform what you do on a daily basis. So, Will, I'm going to kick it over to you for a question, and then we're going to talk. Matt said earlier, he said pudding, but he said the word putter. Just going to give a little teaser and
got it.
The little verbal thing that just occurred.
Well, before we switch to that stuff, broad audience, and I always ask this because we have seasoned industry professionals that watch the show, and then we have a lot of entrepreneurs that are getting started, or people that have an idea and they want to get started. They're just waiting for that the right moment in their mind. Being a third generation, I bet you've sat at the table with your family and have some great stories, more than anything you've learned in school, right? So is there anything you picked up being in the family business, or anything that resonates with you that if you were, getting ready to get out in the world or start your own company, that would be something you would key in on for yourself, something you learned from your grandfather or from your dad?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest thing, and I know the two of them would echo it, or I've said it previously, and obviously my dad is, so he passed in 16. My grandpa's still alive, and he still says it today, but is surround yourself with great people. And that's something that we've really tried to do. So not only here at the company is surrounding ourselves with people that are just phenomenal individuals and way smarter than I am, but also having good sounding boards outside the company too. So whether it's peer groups or whether it's informal or formal groups, there's tons of great groups out there. I think those would be some critical items that would really help foster success there.
Yeah, great advice.
Yeah, that reminds me a lot of two people who have been on the show. Matt, do you know Tom Collins at Dimensional Innovations, or John Owen of Executive Airshare?
I know Tom. I don't know that I've met John.
You are very similar. I always say that they are the best at vetting vendors or business ideas, and you do a wonderful job because you know so many people that you can really bounce those ideas and learn enough about it. I didn't know that was something that your grandfather has encouraged you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's very right. So
that's the critical, just having a soundboard too. It's amazing. I'm involved in a couple CEO groups, and diverse industries, some B2B, some B2C, different sizes, and we all face the same exact problems, right? And so what's nice is, if you get people that, have been in this business world for, more years than I have, they oftentimes it's, hey, I faced that, early in my career, or here's what I did, or here's what you shouldn't do, kind of thing. And so having that type of advice and sounding board is, almost priceless in many ways.
It is. And also you can tell who does a good job and who doesn't do a good job. And
Yep.
so talking about things that you have going on and ways that you've given back to the community, how long ago did the golf tournament start?
Yep.
And kind of give everyone a little background of where it started and where it's going today.
Yeah, so we founded our 501c3, the Greg Ambrose Charity Classic. It's a golf tournament, you said, Scott, in 2017. So my dad passed away in 2016 after an 8-year battle with cancer. And so we were looking for a way to continue his legacy of specifically helping others. And so one thing we kept going back to is over his 8-year battle and the various stints in different hospitals and everything like that, he would repeatedly go out of his way to help families who were involved or going through treatment. In a lot of cases, it was as a child who was diagnosed with cancer, and he would openly help them. So even in a time of his greatest need, he would still find a way to help others. And so for us to carry on that legacy is, one, he loved helping others, and two, he loved playing golf. And so we thought this was the perfect, kind of medium to go about doing that. And so 2017 was our first year hosting this golf tournament, and our charity raises money to help families financially who have a child has been diagnosed with cancer. And so we donate, in some cases, directly to the families. In other cases, we partner with another charity group called Family Reach. And they're a much larger, more national organization than we are, but our goals are the same. We help families, with those everyday expenses, housing, utilities, transportation. Our goal is to try and remove the financial barriers between a family or a child receiving treatment and the financial burdens that come along with that.
Right.
And so that's the heart of it. This will be our 6th year. So far, we've donated a total of $220,000 to families. So Little Golf Tournament, over the last 5 years has donated $220,000. So we really try and maximize, the money we get in as much as we can. So this year we anticipate going over $250,000. We'll see. Maybe we'll hit 300 this year. I'm not sure. So we'll find out next Friday.
That's terrific. Well, that's great. Great work. And you didn't mention it, but it sounded like you're helping those in the Kansas City market as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. So it's a mix. So we do help local Kansas City families. We also help ones that are nationwide. Last year, we flew a family in from Alaska to help them out. And so this year, we've got a number of families that are coming from Kansas City. And what's great is we really try and get them out to the tournament so the players can meet them and have real conversations with them. A lot of times, I know I play in a lot of charity golf tournaments, and sometimes there's a disconnect between, while you're out there and what the tournament or the charity is actually supporting. And so we really try and help support, the families that we're supporting in more than just a financial way. And sometimes that just means, bringing them in and loving on them or having general conversation. And, like Scott said earlier, the group of people that we get out at our golf tournament, they are some of the best people you will ever meet. And, we don't give away $100 polos and these crazy swag bags. We maximize every single dollar that comes in. It goes directly to families. And, Scott, you've been out there, I think, since year one. You can, kind of say that, we really try and hold true to that. And I think that's what makes us different than some of the other golf tournaments you play in.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a delay, but I did post it in the link, so it'll pop up when people will go back to it. People have been hearing it throughout the show, so they'll see it. But See, I'm not blown. It's the only golf tournament I go to personally. I don't play or do anything else. It is that fun and that good of people. So, Will, we are going to say goodbye to Matt and goodbye to the audience. So, what we're going to do is say thank you and wave at the camera. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. See you guys.